Welcome back, Kevin's Mobile Repair. Got a 2011 BMW X3 3-liter oil filter housing. Quite common for these gaskets to leak on this little housing assembly, so we are replacing those. That's one for the cooler, and then that's the one that goes to the block right there. So there's the cooler piece right here. So it comes as a, I would get both kits obviously, because you got to take this one off in order to get that one off. So just get both of them. That's what the old ones look like right there. So I'll give you a couple little tricks and the how-to. The older models, this specific bolt that was right here, you could easily get to with a swivel E10 and an extension. But they kind of revamped it a little bit and said denied. Because I did multiple of the old ones without even taking out the intake manifold or loosening it up or anything. I could sneak back there, unbolt it, pull it out with your fingers. I loved it. But the newer design, not so much. So here's what we did with this part. I did not take the intake manifold out, obviously, but it is loose. So you have 11mm bolts, 2 bolts, and the rest of them are studs. So the studs you can actually take out with a inverted E7. This little bad boy. So what I did is I took out all the bolts, the 2 bolts, took out all the nuts, took the studs out, and then I'm able to just shift it back. I only need like a ½ an inch or an inch. That's it. So I just got a screwdriver, pried right back here while the housing was still attached, and just move the intake manifold over just enough, and then I can sneak this in there, zip it out, pull it out where it's done, which is that one right there. Disconnect disconnector, disconnect the oil pressure switch right here, or is that a coolant? I think that's a coolant one. I can't, yeah, this is the oil pressure, sorry, and then this one's going to be coolant temperature. The other little trick is same thing with this design here. This used to be a straightforward design where it was going straight in. Now it's at an angle. That's why this is different, and you can't get that same housing out. See, they did a little revamp of that housing assembly right there. So it is also an E10 bolt. One of these little bad boys. Now, I can't even get a socket on there, and I have the short stubby sockets with a ½ inch or quarter ratchet, even a short one. Just not going to happen. But you know it does work. 8mm ratcheting gear wrench. You're able to get in here like this and just work it. Now same thing, pull the housing just like the old ones. Pull the housing as it goes, and it gives you some tension, and you have to use 2 hands right in that same area. But that is that trick. That's awesome design right there. So do need to take off your coolant. You will lose a little bit of coolant. There's not really a drain peck for this one, so I filled up this area here with rags and minimized the amount of coolant spilling everywhere. Also got a drain bucket underneath to catch everything. The 3 bolts here are the same. They're going to be E10s. They're relatively easy to get to, which are going to be sitting right here. This one right here might be a little more difficult to get to because the lines are in the way. Just use an extension and a little bit of a wobbly type extension like yay. That'll give you enough clearance to go right in between here, the short one, and you can get that off. Same thing, you're going to lose a little bit of coolant, you're going to lose some oil right there, so have rags all in this vicinity to catch as much of the oil and coolant dripping as possible. I did take off the oil filter before you did anything, so that way the oil drains down. You have less oil up top here for when it does come off. Do make sure that you clean off these surfaces as best as possible. I have a wire brush gun, clean off any imperfections in there and all that kind of good stuff, and then spray it off with a brake cleaner to get any excess residue. But that is what I did. I'm looking at about an hour and a half right now, so it's probably going to take me about another 30 minutes to get everything back off. I'm also doing, or back on, I'm also doing an oil change, so all that kind of good stuff is underneath. But overall 2.5 hours tops. And I believe this pays $3,845, but having the special tools is what's going to save your butt. So, and also remember, there is one extra long bolt, that one, that will be different than the other two, but you'll see that when you go back in. But any questions or comments, please feel free to let me know.